Okie dokie, welcome back. I'm Chandler,
And I'm Celeste.
and this is
True North Terror. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome to another episode. This is a Celeste episode.
Wow, so I'm the only one that does work around here.
Hold on now.
Sarah was really funny about her call out,
Oh, yeah.
and she sent it to like all of her family, and her mom was like, make sure that she knows I raised you not to do dumb things. Sarah's mom, I believe you. I tell Sarah to do things all the time. Just kidding. She's great. But yeah, that was funny. A lot of the girls were laughing about that at work, and now Sarah's the butt of everyone's jokes. So
Perfect.
sorry, Sarah. Yeah, I don't really.
She brought it on herself.
She sure did. I don't really think there's anything to talk about.
No business.
No business.
Oh. This will come out after my birthday.
It's gonna come out on your birthday.
On my birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday!
I'm a whole year older and don't feel much smarter.
How old are you actually?
25.
Like you're turning 25.
Turning 25.
Oh, quarter of a century.
Yeah, I've got my quarter life century crisis booked for April when I get out of classes. And we'll go from there.
I thought you said no more tattoos till after the wedding.
Oh, I mean, just like I'm going to have a crisis when I get out of school.
Just assumed it was a tattoo.
No, I'm just going to have a crisis. I don't know what it is yet. But it'll be something.
Crash out. I totally thought you meant a tattoo.
No. The next tattoo is booked for the day after the wedding. And then that's
You're going to be so hungover.
That's okay.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because it'll be an easy just finger tattoo. It's not going to be.
Oh, you're just doing crazy. Your band?
Yeah.
That's it?
Oh, I'm just doing an L.
Oh, okay.
Instead of a band.
L for loser.
Yeah. No. But yeah.
Okay, that's great for you. Is your entire social media the Epstein files too, or is that just me?
It's been that for a while.
Yeah,
I've been gibbering and jabbering and yammering about like every thing that happens is just another distraction from releasing it.
Yeah.
It's still not fully out.
No.
Holy shit, was Pam Bondi a piece of shit.
Actually like a subhuman scum of the earth.
Yeah. So, to my knowledge, there's never been a president that has gone to jail, but there has been attorney generals that have gone to jail. So maybe she should smarten the fuck up.
Yeah,
maybe resign.
I love how
maybe kill yourself.
I love how she literally was impeaching herself or perjuring herself. I was like,
yeah,
you such a dumb bitch.
You just lied under oath.
Yeah, and then she said something. She said someone had like Trump syndrome or something.
What?
Yeah, what was it? I gotta Google it. Also, Owen just texted me that the ghost is talking through the radio.
Oh boy.
Maybe you should put GhostTube on tonight.
Yeah.
Because obviously they have things to say. Pam Bondi Trump
disorder.
Maybe she just said Trump disorder. Trump derangement syndrome. Also, like, if anyone has Trump derangement syndrome, ma'am, it's you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like watching. Oh, I just can't. I'm like, holy smokes. Yeah, I think like people, or she's saying like that basically if it gets out, like all the names and stuff, that like the world will crumble. And it's like, yeah, if that's the way that society is currently working, then it should
I don't want
crumble.
It that way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, geez.
I saw wait, Oh, did I save it or did I just like it on Facebook? I don't remember.
Also, when the Epstein, survivors were, like, standing behind her and she wouldn't look at them, I was
Yeah,
like, "You fucking smug
coward.
bitch."
Because
Yeah.
she's in those goddamn files,
Oh,
100%.
yeah. Yeah.
Like the brown nosing that she's doing,
Well, and she's like, "Have you apologized to Trump?" Like,
bitch.
"No, and I will not."
Shut
But,
your mouth.
like, yes, we know we are a Canadian podcast, okay, but this doesn't just affect America.
No.
Like, this is people were involved all over the world,
Yeah.
and everyone all over the world should be making noise about this because it is fucked up what they
Yeah.
did to those kids and to
Yep.
those women, and anyone that did that doesn't certainly shouldn't be in a powerful leadership role,
No, sir.
let alone out of prison.
Nope.
So, what are you looking for?
This tweet from this lady in Somalia.
Mm,
Um. Anywho, uh, she tweeted in Somalia they execute pedophiles,
yeah,
and then American headlines and news things, Congress
mhm,
people were like, she said she's gunning for the execution of Donald Trump.
same.
And it's like, okay, but she didn't say that. You're
No, she's
saying the
just
quiet part out loud.
yeah,
You fucking like you're
yeah. You're Are you saying what
hmm.
she could be implying?
Why are you associating pedophiles with Donald Trump?
Oh, there is also that.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna say, no, 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 he's a good man. He's a good man.
He's the best
Yeah.
and Pam Bondi kept
I'm the
talking about
best president that's ever been.
that was
I
pretty
only make big boom booms in my pants on live television. Joe Biden. Oh, Sleepy Joe. I shit my pants so much better than Sleepy Joe.
that's actually pretty good.
I practice.
I like how you have to use the
Oh, it's
hands
the
when you do it.
when I'm standing, I do like he like leans over himself too,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Hopefully by the time this comes out, there'll be some more news regarding it. And like the thing that pisses me off is that like they redacted lots of names, but at
Mhm.
first, they didn't redact a lot of the victims' names
No,
or
or
photos,
photos.
and then they went back and did do some redacting, but it's like, "Okay, so we're going to protect the predators, but not the victims, like, you're
Yeah,
just re-victimizing
like what are
them?"
you doing?
Ugh.
They're the guy who called her out for like lying under oath literally posted a video like an hour ago
Mm.
saying that he's on his way to look at completely unredacted files.
Yeah, that was, one of the senators, I think.
So hopefully,
But no, that was yesterday he
oh, that
posted
was
that,
yesterday. I
and
thought that
he's the
was
one that caught her saying that Trump wasn't in the files.
yeah.
Yeah, the same I forget his
No
name.
evidence of him committing a crime. He's literally been
Yeah.
held liable. He's a he's a convicted felon. What do you mean there's no evidence of him committing a crime?
Yeah, and then he's the one that says, like, "I think you just lied under oath," and she's like, "Don't you ever say I committed a crime." Then she
Yeah.
calls someone a washed up lawyer, is like,
Yeah. Oh
"Damn,
my
girl."
god. Her, um, Cash Patel,
Yeah.
Elon Musk, all those fucking brown nosed.
Although, no, Elon now is anti-Trump.
Yeah.
He's like, Trump's name is all over, but it's because
So is he.
it's trying to
Yeah.
take attention from
Any
him.
of those
Yeah.
brown nosers,
Don't trust him.
you're gonna get the day you
Yeah.
deserve.
You
You
will have the day you deserve.
cretins.
Yep.
And just I know that Nick Fuentes will never hear this, but just so you know, but you're a piece of shit. And if you think that 13 to 15-year-olds aren't children, kill yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
That's
Nick Fuentes.
disgusting.
You piece of shit.
That's
I
disgusting.
fucking hate that guy.
I also saw though, someone posted and he's like, "No, I'm not surprised that they were saying this behind closed doors about children because look what they were saying in front of us."
Yeah.
And it was about like Britney Spears when she was 10 and they were like sexualizing her and stuff. And I was like, yeah, this is true. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah. Anyways,
The
we need,
countdown to when Mary Kate and Ashley turned 18.
yeah.
Fucking creeps.
Well, that's that on that, I guess.
Yeah.
We could go all day.
Well, we said there's no business.
That's not business. That's news.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
and I think everyone should just be more mad about it, that's all.
Mhm.
We're not mad enough.
I've been fuming.
Yeah, I feel like I have not had I mean, I never sleep well, but, like, I've not had even a decent as I yawn, sleep since, like, this has all been on my socials
Yeah.
because all I can think about is just how fucked up it is, but, we have a really cool case today. It is an unsolved case, about 30 years unsolved, and it's crazy. So, yeah, we're gonna get into it. So, it takes place in Pickering, Ontario, located just east of Toronto. Pickering is situated along the shores of vast Lake Ontario, which is one of the Great Lakes, and has a deep culture of water sports and fishing. It's like a picturesque, quaint town. If you look at pictures, it's a lot of historic buildings, lots of trees and greenery along really blue water, has really nice beaches and marinas. The vibe, when I was looking at pictures, it was like New England vibe,
Okay.
which is um, the vibe I aspire.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to New England so bad. There's also a massive power plant there that provides a ton of jobs. It's the single largest employer in the town, but it kinda, like, just looms in the background. It's like this beautiful place, and there's just this big power plant in the
Oh, that's
back. It's
cool.
like yeah, it looks kinda spooks. Um, Pickering gained attention in March of 1995, the year that yours truly was
Yeah.
the world was blessed with my presence, when 6 boys went missing. 17-year-olds Jay Boyle, Robbie Rumbold, Amy Lefebvre, and Michael Cummins, as well as 18-year-old Chad Smith and 16-year-old Danny Higgins. Jay, Chad, and Robbie were all from Pickering. Jamie was from Scarborough, Michael was from Oshawa, and Danny was from Ajax, which are all suburbs like near
Surrounding
Pickering. Yeah.
Pickering, yeah.
Unfortunately, it is very difficult to find much backstory on any of the boys because a lot of the early reporting is not available online anymore. Um, the only person we really do know about is 17-year-old Jay Boyle because his family has continued to try and keep this case in the spotlight. Jay had just dropped out of school after he had a baby girl with his girlfriend Monique. They lived together in an apartment. He had 4 sisters, Ashley, Amanda, Siobhan, and Sarah. All the siblings were close, but he was especially close to Amanda because they were close in age and would hang out with the same crowds and go to the same parties. All of the boys were typical bored teenagers in a town that didn't offer much for them to do, so they were known for getting into some trouble. They did have some run ins with the local police and would often hang out at the marina at night. They were known to take boats for joyrides and steal beers from the boats. So 90s.
Yeah.
Jay was very close with his family and a dedicated partner and dad. He was also a potential up and coming professional baseball player until a couple of bad decisions put that possibility away. He had a previous charge for assault and was waiting on an additional charge for assault and a weapons violation. On March 15th, 1995, the 6 boys went to hang out at the marina and stole a giant water tricycle, which is like, I guess, a giant pedal boat.
Yeah.
They did return it that night without being caught by anyone. Later that evening, Jay was caught and arrested for breaking into a grocery store, but he hadn't actually stolen anything, so he was just released into the early morning hours. The next night, on the 16th, is where our story really begins. The boys all planned on going to a basement party to celebrate the beginning of spring break and St. Patrick's Day. Jay's sister Amanda was planning on going to the party with them, but backed out at the last minute due to not feeling well. Jay's daughter was staying with his parents, and Monique was having a night to relax back at their apartment, assuming that Jay would be returning later that night with a group of friends. Danny's parents later reported that he gave them his expensive chain for safekeeping, even though he never took it off, but that was the only strange thing reported by any of the family members that night, which is kind of weird. Like, if you
Mhm.
never take it off and you're like, "Can you keep this safe for me?" But that was the only, like, off thing that happened with any of the 6 of them. As most high school basement parties go, there was drinking and smoking weed. There was a photo of Jay taken wearing a black baseball cap, black hoodie, and red pants, which will come back as a very important detail. At some point, Danny got into a fight of some sort. It's not really super clear if it was verbal or physical, but everyone made up and After that, they decided they were going to go back to Jay's apartment. At around 1:30 a.m., Jay called Monique and asked if it was okay for him and the boys to come back to their place to keep drinking. She didn't mind, like she expected them to. He did mention that they might stop at the marina to take the water tricycle out for another spin, but said they would be there soon. 18 minutes later at 1:48 a.m., Michael, Jamie, and Robbie, so only 3 of them, were recorded on a surveillance camera at East Shore Marina in Frenchman's Bay, which is one of the main bays in the town. The surveillance footage seemed kind of odd because there was only 3 of them, and they all walked in a single file line, not interacting with each other at all. At around 2-ish in the morning, boat dwellers from the marina reported that they heard an engine start and go out into the water, but those were the only reports that would ever be received. At around 3:30, Monique and some of the other girlfriends called the Durham Regional Police to report the boys missing, as no one had heard from them since Jay's call to Monique 2 hours earlier at 1:30.
Yeah.
They knew they were potentially stopping by the marina and were concerned something happened to them out in the water. The police did not receive this information very well. They basically said, "We're closed for reports and get their parents to call us back in the morning."
Come on.
Very interesting police work in this case.
Yeah.
It is assumed that the police didn't really take the report very seriously since they were known to police for being troublemakers.
Oh.
So it's like either they're like people kind of frame it now that they're like, well, they were annoying, so
Yeah.
they're gone now, I guess.
That sucks.
At 9 a.m. the next morning, Monique called the police again to report Jay missing and was told the same thing again. His parents needed to call, even though, like, this is his common law partner, mother
Yeah.
of
What
his
the hell?
child. By the end of the day, all 6 boys were reported missing by their families, but the police still did not conduct a search. Just a reminder, like, yes, they are older teenage boys, but they are still minors. They're under 18 with the exception of one guy.
Yeah.
So it's like these are still technically children you are searching for. 36 hours after receiving the reports, the Durham Regional Police finally began to search Lake Ontario. 36 hours later, 3 days later, or 2.5 days later, I guess. Right? That's math. Yeah, it is. No, it's
Mhm.
not. What's math? 36 hours? That's a day and a
36
half.
hours is a day and a half.
But this is a crazy length of time, especially if they're considering that something has happened to them out in the water. It's March in Ontario. The water is freezing.
Yeah.
It was like 40 degrees Celsius in the water. The search involved Coast Guard vessels, a Canadian Air Force helicopter, and volunteers, but was called off after only 36 hours. Police also checked the surveillance footage at the marina where they discovered a missing 15-foot imitation Boston whaler and a water tricycle. For context, the Boston whaler was advertised in the late 60s and early 70s as the unsinkable motorboat. Like, heard that before?
Yeah.
Titanic? It was, I mean, not motorboat, unsinkable ship, but still.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just cursing yourself.
Yeah. Why? You're asking for something to happen.
Yeah. You're asking to be sunk.
We are the unsinkable submarine.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Basically, the reason it was unsinkable was that it was engineered so that the hull was made of fiberglass but filled with styrofoam, making it so that if water did start coming into the boat, it would still continue to float. I mean, I'm not an engineer. I'm not going to argue with this.
Engineers don't always make the best decisions.
This could work on calm waters. However, Lake Ontario is not that calm. It's basically like a small ocean.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon for there to be big waves and rough waters. 14-foot boat is also pretty small for 6 nearly adult guys to cram into.
That's a tiny boat.
Like,
That's a little boat.
you are cozy. But there also is the consideration that there was potentially only 3 of them on the boat, since only 3 were seen on surveillance.
Right.
But also then, where are the other 3?
Yeah, what the hell?
This was also like a knockoff Boston whaler, so it had similar construction but wasn't identical. It was like the Walmart version.
Yeah, GT Boutique Boston Whaler.
Yeah. The main difference was that the knockoff had a rudder to steer attached to the motor instead of a steering wheel. Also important to note, there was no ladder.
So it was like a tiller.
Yep.
Okay.
Despite being advertised as the unsinkable boat, it would be possible to sink eventually if the styrofoam became waterlogged and heavy, but it would likely take days, if not weeks, to completely sink. The owners of the boat reported that there was approximately a quarter tank of fuel left, which was about 25 miles of gas. This would be enough for the boys to cross to Toronto, but not the US border side.
Yeah.
It's also pretty common for people to take the lake from Pickering to Toronto, as it's actually like a faster commute than driving
Yeah.
because you're just straight
Just
shot. Since it was assumed that they couldn't get to the US, their border patrol and law enforcement was not informed about the missing boys
the missing buoys.
or boat. That's why I said it weird. Boys or boat.
I see.
After a day of searching with no leads, the police showed the surveillance footage from the marina to the families that confirmed it was Michael, Jamie, and Robbie. The families were only allowed to view about 15 minutes of really low resolution footage, like it is the early 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and it was dark. During the search the following day, the Air Force helicopter did spot a boat floating barely at the surface of the water, and this was reported to police but was never followed up on. After 36 hours of searching, the police announced that the boys probably ran out of gas or capsized the boat and drowned in the freezing water. They're like, case closed.
What the hell?
The water at the time was only 40 degrees Fahrenheit. After being in the water for only about a minute, they would have started to lose some function and would start to drown or die from hypothermia. This was, of course, a safe assumption. However, it was not great police work as they didn't have any actual evidence of this. They had not found a boat or any of the bodies or belongings, but still decided the case was closed. For the bodies, they basically explained that the bodies would have started to decay and parts would disconnect, but since the water is so deep and cold, it's more likely that they actually would have been somewhat preserved. However, cold water divers raised their eyebrows at this. It was possible that maybe some of the boys' lungs filled with water and they sunk. However, it was very unlikely that all 6 of them would sink. Like, they're basically like, it's more likely for them to float than sink.
Yeah.
Lake Ontario is really deep, ranging from an average of 240 feet to the deepest,
Ooh,
at 802 feet.
802.
I did not know that.
Ooh.
So if they did sink, it was going to be difficult to find them.
Yeah.
But like the professional divers said, it's very unlikely they all sank to the bottom. The very disappointing part of this case is divers have never entered the water to do a formal search. There were a few tips that came from local boats with fish finding sonar that reported anomalies that appeared to have been sunken boats, specifically one that reported that there seemed to be a boat floating upright at the bottom of the lake, but police did nothing with the tips.
Seriously?
And like that's probably how it would have floated
Yeah.
because of the styrofoam in the front,
Styrofoam, and then the motors in
in the back to weigh it down.
yeah.
Yeah. Since this is a tighter community, word was getting around that police were not following up on tips. This led some of the families to demand to see the full length of the surveillance footage from the marina, but police were like, oh no, there's no surveillance footage, it doesn't exist.
What?
Which is like,
Cops, what are
but
you
you
doing?
showed us 15 minutes of it already. How can you say it doesn't exist?
Oh man.
As there typically is with missing people, there were sightings of them.
Of course.
There was a report of Jay seen in the States and another of Jamie walking down his home street by his neighbor. When Jamie's neighbor reported seeing him to his mom, she looked around the house and did notice some things out of place or missing. She reported this to police, but there was no follow-up.
What?
Jay's family refused to believe he was actually spotted in the States. He was super close with his family and a doting father. He never would have left Monique and his daughter willingly. But the police stuck to their story. They all drowned.
Man.
11 days later, a jerry can, but like a metal one,
Mm-hmm.
with French and English on it, washed up to a marina in Wilson, New York. It was returned to the East Bay Marina in Pickering and determined to have been from the missing boat the boys were on. They identified it by only a small dent, which is like, it's a fucking, like,
Metal jerry
they
can.
all have dents on them.
Yeah.
But to the police, this just confirmed their story. The gas can was from the sinking boat and drifted to shore. But it was suspicious because after nearly 2 weeks, you would think the gas can would have taken on some water and also sunk because the cap was also missing.
Yeah.
Also, a little tiny dent on a gas can should not be enough to identify it.
No.
A decade went by with no movement in the case until about 2010 when Bruce Ricketts started to look into the case pro bono as a private investigator.
Wow.
He also had a unique insight into the case because he previously was a cold water diver and was well versed in Lake Ontario's conditions and currents. He had a blog called The Mysteries of Canada, which led him to Jay's family, which led him to meeting with all 5 of the families that still lived in Pickering.
Hmm.
After reviewing the police investigation, Ricketts felt that there was still lots to be done and many stones unturned. Bruce pushed the Durham police to hire a dive team to conduct a search. The police did hire a team and set a date, but then canceled at the last minute without explanation and they never rescheduled. So they were like, yeah, sure. We'll do it to keep you quiet and off our backs. And then they're like, oh, no, actually, we're not. Nah.
I don't like this police.
Yeah.
These are bad police.
Yeah. The police ain't policing.
This is very bad.
Bruce did look into the weather the night of the disappearance. There was no stormy weather or choppy water. It was calm. Bruce accused the police of half-assing their investigation because the boys were all known to police as troublemakers. Bruce also took a look at the gas can. He immediately noted that the current actually would have pushed the gas can to Toronto, not New York. He also said it was not uncommon at all for the gas can to be bilingual, and noticed that the marina in Pickering and Wilson, New York happened to be under the same ownership. This is mucho importanto.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce also said it was crazy that this can was identified because of a dent. Lots of cans have dents, and he doubted that this gas can was on the boat with the boys. Bruce also noted that the gas can was attached to the motor with a bayonet connection, making it basically impossible to just like detach from the boat on its own. Even if it did sink, it would have had to be purposely disconnected by a person. Bruce also tipped off on another. Bruce was also tipped off on another theory. The boat was hit by a tanker on a trade route. This could have been possible, but it was unlikely because the tanker would have obliterated the boat and pieces would have been found floating.
Yeah.
So that theory was unlikely since there was no debris found. Bruce decided he wanted to see the full surveillance footage from the marina. The parents warned him about the police gaslighting them that the footage actually didn't even exist, despite them seeing it. Bruce was
That's
told,
crazy.
I know, like, how would you expect these families to trust you or believe you with
Yeah.
anything if you are gaslighting them that something doesn't exist that they literally watched?
Like what?
Bruce was told the same lie by police, it didn't exist. 3 years later, harassing the department, later the footage was finally released to Bruce, but they did not give him the raw footage. Instead, he got an edited version of sped up footage for the hours of 9 a.m. on March 16th to 9 a.m. on March 17th, which is not helpful to him.
No. The hell?
Bruce noticed that there were other people spotted on the surveillance footage as well, specifically one with a large bag and another man with 2 women at around 12:30 in the morning. Of course, none of these people were identified, let alone questioned by police. The man with the bag over his shoulder fueled one of Bruce's other theories, drug smuggling.
Mm-hmm.
He had been tipped off that there was lots of drug smuggling happening at the marina at the time of the disappearances. Bruce had a connection to someone involved in the drug trade that was happening between Miami and the Caribbean and asked how they avoided police. His informant said that they just owned both marinas. Coincidence?
I think not.
This was a light bulb moment for Bruce because the East Bay Marina in Pickering and the Wilson, New York Marina, where the gas can was found, were owned by the same people.
Yeah.
The informant also said that they would apparently just sink boats on purpose when police were getting close to figuring them out, and then would just renumber other boats, which basically made it impossible for the boats to be tracked.
Wow.
This could be why the knockoff Boston whaler was never found. It could have just been renumbered when it entered the Wilson Marina. Then the can could have been found to throw off the police and fuel their story that the boat sank. None of the boys were involved in drug smuggling to anyone's knowledge. but it is possible they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time and witnessed something that they weren't supposed to.
Right.
Also, if they were drug smugglers, like, why wouldn't you go home to your family with your money?
Yeah.
Especially, like, Jay, who had a kid.
Yeah.
Bruce did find a potential tie to drugs with a guidance counselor at one of the boys' schools. This guidance counselor was hired in 1988, but had a record of theft, assault, and drugs.
Oh.
Perfect person to counsel
Yeah.
children, which ultimately got him fired in 1998. He was arrested.
Wow.
Yeah. He was arrested when there was $500,000 of cocaine found under his bed, along with illegal guns.
Holy fuck. What a class act.
Guidance counselor of the year. He was convicted of possession with intent to sell. But like even with this information, they couldn't find any ties to the
Holy
boys.
shit.
It was just like a crazy, weird thing that,
That's insane.
yeah. Bruce continued his investigation and questioned anyone he could. Finally, he came across his first real piece of physical evidence. In 2014, his family met with a psychic who suggested they check the Ontario Police's unidentified remains database. They were shocked to see that two bodies had been found in 1998 at the Sir Adam Beck Power Station in the trash mesh on the Niagara River. One of the remains caught their eyes: a man wearing red Levi jeans, a black belt, with a black wallet. The wallet was unfortunately empty, but Jay was wearing red Levi's that his mom bought him for Christmas when he disappeared.
Oh boy.
Jay's Levi's were specifically orange tab label. They had an orange like label tab on the back
Mm-hmm.
and 7 loops instead of 5. Basically high-end Levi's like special edition. They're limited to the early 90s. The jeans on the unidentified body were orange tab edition and were also waist size 32, the same as Jay.
I feel like that is a pretty common waist size for guys that age though.
But red limited
Yeah,
edition
that's not. It's
Levi's,
not.
like maybe in the 90s, but it's
Yeah.
also like close to where he disappeared.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
The strange thing was the other body found with this one was a man in his 60s. It was also impossible for the bodies to have naturally traveled upstream from Lake Ontario to the Niagara River, but the trash mesh the trash mesh where the bodies were found had not been cleaned in nearly 7 years. So this could have been like a primo location to dump bodies.
Yeah.
Like if someone knows that they only clean that like once a decade, then that is a great place to dump a body.
Right.
This could also explain the other body, like the 60-year-old-ish man, as they could have been dumped at different times, even by different people.
Right.
Bruce sent an information request for the remains on behalf of the family to the OPP database, which is like Ontario Provincial Police.
Yeah.
Months later, they responded with a very redacted file. Even the reporting officer names was redacted, which is like, why do you have to take out the police officer's name?
Yeah, what the hell?
Bruce and Jay's family asked for the coroner to re-examine the body, specifically asking for DNA testing via the umbilical cord, but they were told there wasn't enough DNA left on the remains. Bruce is like, no problem, dog, we'll just do it through a third party. And then all of a sudden, the coroner's office was like, JK, JK, we actually do have enough DNA, we will just do it for you. But conveniently, the DNA did not match. They also claimed that the very clearly red Levi's that were the same size as Jay's were actually not red Levi's. They were an orange fire repellent material that had faded to red due to the water.
Doubt it.
But like, how does orange fade to red?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
this confused Bruce because the original file clearly states the details of the pants, and the photo the family and Bruce saw was clearly red Levi's. Like, if you
Yeah.
look at the picture, it has the fucking Levi's brand on it. I don't think they make
Fucking
fire repellent pants.
No, they do not.
Like, okay.
If it was like maybe like Carhartt or something like that, like then there'd be
Yeah.
an argument, but not Levi's. What the fuck?
Bruce thought maybe they were examining the wrong remains and questioned where the remains had been kept since they had been found in 1998. The coroner said they had been stored at the same hospital that did the original report. Bruce also conveniently had worked at a hospital previously and called them out saying that a working hospital can't just store
No.
unidentified remains for 20 years. So Bruce asked for the continuity report, which is a report that details where the remains have been and like who's been handling them and whatever.
Right.
The coroners responded that the report actually didn't exist, and
What?
they were like, actually, the evidence box with the remains was lost until you guys asked for them.
Oh my
So
god.
Bruce was like, okay, so I'm left with the same questions that I had before. Are these even the same remains from 1998? Bruce also discovered that the night of the disappearance, there was reportedly a boat being burned nearby. This is where Bruce unfortunately was left with only dead ends. He passed away on January 2nd, 2024, with no answers for the families despite 13 years of dedicated investigating.
Wow.
So that's all the info we have. And so we're going to get into the local theory speculation. Locals have been suspicious that the police were super shady and dismissive of the case because there was either a sting operation or crooked cops covering up for the known drug smuggling. That would explain why the families weren't given the full surveillance and why there was little police work with questioning people at the marina, and also why they just said, like, nah, dog, they sunk, that's it, they're dead, case closed.
Yeah.
Um,
That sounds
and basically, we leave off with,
sketchy.
yeah, we leave off with no answers. And even 30 years later, the families still get together at the marina and remember their lost family members.
Well, that's nice, but that's awful.
I did, because I like had to go on Reddit obs to see what people were saying.
Yeah.
And there's like alien abduction theory,
Oh shit.
but I couldn't find anything that actually like gave any like any information on it. I was like, okay, if maybe there's a UFO sighting or something,
Yeah.
but no. But like, how do six,
Just up and disappear.
like that's crazy, and
That is
especially with
wild.
3 only being seen on the surveillance, like where are the other 3? That's what confuses me so much, is that 3 of them were only 3 of them were seen and the rest weren't, and they're all missing. But they were all together at one point.
That is weird.
Very bizarre. Very bizarre. But no case is unsolvable. Hopefully their families will get the answers they want.
Yeah.
Like Jay's daughter is now 30 and
Holy shit.
has never known her dad really, and
That's terrible.
doesn't know what happened to him. Yeah, it's awful. But yeah, that's that on that.
Wow. I'm flabbergasted.
I know, it's like
Like, how do they just?
it's annoying not having any answers. Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
It's annoying not having any answers at all.
Well, hopefully, I hope that the family get some
Answers
closure.
eventually, yeah.
Yeah. But stay spooky, True Northers.
Terror is closer than you think.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of True North Terror. If you like our podcast, please help us grow by leaving a rating and review. If you have a story you want us to hear, or your own personal story you want to hear on the pod as a listener story, email us at truenorthterrorpod@gmail.com. Join us next week for another episode of True North Terror.